Hello, I'm Steve Crowley, Director for Enterprise at North Herts Council, and joining me today is Steve Norris from Lambert Smith Hampton, one of the experts that we've been working with on the Churchgate regeneration project. Steve, can you just please give us an overview of the work that you've been doing, specifically with regards to Churchgate regeneration project and obviously the work that Lambert Smith Hampton has been up to?
Sure, thanks Steve. I'm Steve Norris, I'm an Executive Director at Lambert Smith Hampton. We're a leading residential regeneration and real estate advisor. And I also head up the planning, regeneration plus infrastructure business, which forms part of LSH. And we act at all stages of the property and development life cycle. We were brought in by the council about 18 months ago to advise them on the development potential of the Churchgate Centre, but also the wider regeneration zone, which includes Biggin Lane, St Mary's and Portmill Lane, east and west, as well as the market, which sits at the heart of the shopping centre, and how we can provide a market that is fit for the 21st century.
What are the key technical work that you and your team have been working on behind the scenes?
Following on from our initial work, we were retained by the council, and we brought in working shoulder to shoulder with the council. We brought in a wider team, so we brought in Leonard Design Architects, who are an internationally known architects and master planners who've worked across the globe, but specifically are now helping to deliver the regeneration of Sheffield and Nottingham and Guildford centres. And we've together have been preparing what's called a regeneration investment framework, and that really is a framework to help inform the council's decision taking on the future transformation and regeneration of the wider Churchgate regeneration zone. With the council, we went to the UK Reef Conference last year, where we kind of again engaged with developers and occupiers and investors around the potential opportunity that Hitchin presents. And a number of those, and I think really positive, a number of those have since visited the town, met again with the council, carried out a tour of the site, and have shown a real interest in the future opportunity as well.
Can you just give us a quick overview of what UK Reef is, please?
Yeah, UK Reef, it stands for the UK Real Estate Investment and Infrastructure Forum. And it's an event that's been running for 5 years now. And it's the leading event in the UK for all public and private sector to come together. So local authorities, government bodies, Homes England, as well as developers and investors and occupiers. And it's a forum where they can all get together and talk about opportunities to transform our centres. Obviously, the key thing is about delivery of 1.5 million new homes across the UK, but also the transformation of our centres and how you can build in new infrastructure as part of that.
As you know, Steve, we did the public consultation last year. We had a great response, over 1,500 people providing direct feedback from our online survey. The work that you and your team are doing, can you just give us a bit of an insight of that and how that is important to this project?
The engagement and consultation is absolutely front and centre of everything we do. We want the community and key stakeholders to inform and help shape the regeneration of projects, particularly in Hitchin, where it's such a kind of an important focal point for the town, the shopping centre and the wider area. So the market, and Hitchin is a market town, the market is front and centre. People like the market, but they don't think it's fit for purpose in its current state. They don't want to lose the market. So it is really about how do you re-provide the transformation of the wider Churchgate regeneration zone, but with the market right front and centre in the heart of that. Other things or the feedback we had from the engagement was with regard to movement and access across the town centre, so making that easy, improving those linkages, not just for pedestrians, but for those on bicycles, but also in cars as well as they move around the centre. Improving the green and blue infrastructure, by which I mean opening up the River Hiss. It's a real focal point for the town, and obviously St Mary's as well in the heart of that. And it is about how can we create more from that, such a great asset for the town. And also the green infrastructure about regreening, so creating more green space, more space for people to relax and socialise and meet, but also event space as well. So that flexible space that you can use as kind of right at the heart of the town. And then a blended mix of uses. We know that retail is important to town centres, but it's not the driving force now. And I think that blended mix of uses, which bring in wider community uses as well as the commercial and residential, will be really important in terms of bringing that forward. And that all came out from that consultation exercise.
Steve, what are the next steps for this project?
in terms of our advice to the council, we're at the stage now where we're carrying out what's called a viability testing. So it's the financial viability to understand the risks and rewards from a financial perspective for the council. And that will really take on board all of the work that we've done to date, including obviously the community and stakeholder engagement, to understand the types of uses that people would like ideally to see in any transformation of the town. But building into that, what does that mean in terms of costs? And then what does that, the implications for the council? And from that, with the council, really identifying a route to delivery. So the council, as the ultimate decision maker, will have to decide whether it's something they can do on their own, and they can regenerate the shopping centre on their own and the wider sites, or whether it's something they bring in development partners on as well. And that's the next step that we're into, is really what happens next in the coming months.
That's really, really useful for you to give us this insight today regarding all of the technical work that you've been doing. I hope you also found this very interesting and useful insight. It is so important that we've got all of this information to help us to deliver this project. If you wish to find out more about our project, please click on the link below, which will take you straight to the Churchgate Hub. Thank you.